Well, hello, everyone. I am so excited about introducing Kirby de lanerolle to you today. He is going to be a treat. If you guys have never heard of this guy, just wait. He's going to knock your socks off with the revelation that he has. I've spent time listening to Kirby and his revelation, and I have gained so much. It has been unbelievable. So today we're going to talk about Mysterion. Okay, so Kirby. Hello, Kirby.
Hey, Rose, how are you?
I'm great, and I'm so glad to be talking to you today. And you know what? I heard that we have Mysterion coming up this year in the end of January, right?
Right. That's our gift to the WOWLife World Coach groups.
Yes, to the coach groups. But if you're not in a coach group and you want Mysterion, then you can still purchase it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So those of you guys that want to purchase it, and if you're not in a coach group, there'll be both links below in the video to how to join a coach group if you want to be in the WOWLife World Coach groups, or if you just want to purchase the Mysterion teaching, you're going to want to get that too. So those links will be posted below. So make sure that you look for that. But right now, I want to step into a conversation with you, Kirby, about Mysterion. We'll get into a little bit of that. But you know what? Some of the things that I've heard today that I really want to pick your brain on, and that is the whole tithing aspect. And I know that you're probably going to talk about some of this in Mysterion. Is that right?
Yes, definitely. I'll be talking about not tithing, but about giving, and I'll break it down a bit, so we can break it down here as well. There's no issue at all. We can definitely dive into that area.
Yeah, sure. Okay, well, I just have a couple questions for you, and then you just tell me whatever you want to say. But I mean, there's a lot of talk lately, in this whole grace movement, the whole tithing aspect. Really, under the grace movement, do I really need to be tithing anymore? What do you think about that?
Sure. Yeah, I love some of those teachings, and conceptually, some of those teachings are on point, because they talk about a lot of the stuff that talk about the seed. Jesus being the seed, and the seed sown to the ground once and for all. And that really topples the tithing aspect of seeding. It really turns that whole thing upside down, because if the once and for all seed was sown, then why do we need now to be sowing? Because we get it off that seed that has been sown. You see, so conceptually that is fantastic, and conceptually I think everyone should get that, because that seed has been sown. That seed, it fell to the ground, it died, and it is in him we all die, and we now bear fruit unto harvest. So that is doctrinally very, very sound. Now, but that's where the problem lies, because a lot of people don't understand that the game is being played in three parts. We are triune. Okay, so once you get that, you'll realize that when you get into the mystical parts or the prophetic, really, you'll realize that you have to tie in the doctrine, which is the theology that is in the mind, and what has already happened in the realm of the spirit. So we got the spirit, the mind, and then we have to plug that into the body. Until that happens, nothing on the earth happens. You see, so we have to now echo or resonate with what has happened in the realm of the spirit, theologically, what is sound, that's a sound doctrine. Now, how do I represent that on the earth? And that is my reasonable service, to represent that on the earth. And that's why I think a lot of them, the mystics, and also in the grace move, they're still in the mind and in the realm of the spirit, but they don't incarnate. They don't really descend completely into the natural realm and take over the earth, because there's no point that we are flourishing in the realm of the spirit or in the realm of the mind, but we need to flourish and prosper in the realm of the physicality, the material realm, the body, the earth realm as well. Now, that is where I'd like to explode a bit more, because that would mean that you need to do something with your body. And Paul talks about it like this. He said, if you just pray for someone and say, I'll pray for you, and faith without works, he says, is dead. And that's where this thing is. There is a work that we need to do. That means there's a movement that psychosomatically we need to engage the earth realm with, to represent what we know in the spirit and what has been understood in the mind. And that's where giving or using the body, using the material things, to lock that revelation down is very important.
Wow. Wow. You're absolutely right. Okay. So that was a lot to think about. And, of course, I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this and listen to it again, and then really try to, figure out how to apply it.
Yep.
Now, there's many that know you as a good teacher and as a man of great revelation, but there's probably not very many of people out there that know that you're a great and amazing businessman as well. And so I'm curious about how, are you going to talk about any of that in Mysterion?
Yeah.
Are you going to step
Yes,
into
absolutely. And absolutely, Rose. Mysterion is literally created so that I can share some of my personal business stuff without many people being able to listen to it publicly. So I go on some of the most intimate moments I've had with the Lord and financiers, and we talk about certain things that I don't talk about publicly there. So Mysterion, you guys will love it.
Yeah. I think it'll be awesome, and I can't wait because I've partaken of the last Mysterion, and there was a lot that I gleaned from that, and so I'm excited about this one as well. So okay, so my other question, there's talk out there about what's the difference between trading and tithing. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so So here we go. Okay, so
here we go.
I can only say it like this. Okay, yesterday someone came and gave me close to nearly. Okay, just happened yesterday, and they had interestingly they had traded. Okay, and when I say trading in the world, in the motive was they traded in the world, and we are at this moment of time building. We got our own church structure that I'm breaking down one of my old tea warehouses where I keep my machines, and I'm converting that into a studio. We're going to call it something. Okay, and that's going to be the WOW home. And so we're just about to refurbish that building. And just before the end of the year, it was a nice gesture. He had traded and he came and dropped the money off. Now, I'm going to show you how I took the money. So then you'll understand when I say how I took the money, you'll realize that I'm ticking certain boxes off because I need to receive the money in a certain way as a priest, ordained priest. Okay.
Yeah, this is good. This is good.
Yes. So now we're going to go to a chapter that has been really scandalized by the grace move, really, and that's Malachi. Okay. And if you look at Malachi, and this is what people need to understand, Malachi is written to priests, and it's nothing to do. I don't want to say nothing to do, but it has the emphasis is on the one who receives the money and not on the one who gives the money. Okay. So it's about the priest who actually take in the offerings and the tithings, and Malachi is written to them on how to take it. Okay, so if you're a pastor out there, if you're a leader out there, if people are sowing to you out there, this is how your people really will prosper, and it comes through you because you are representing them when you take that money. Because why are they giving you the money? You must think about it. Why are they giving that money to you? Remember when Ananias and Sapphira came and gave it to Peter? Did you see how diligently he practiced Malachi? He practiced it so diligently. He asked them questions. He said, where is this from? What is this about? Do you know that you don't have to do this like this? And I can only submit. I have 600 pastors under me, churches under me, thousands of pastors under me. And I see that they don't know how to take seeds. And because of that, people don't prosper. It's not about the person giving. And we need to be able to explain to people that they need to give in a way that their heart and their offering is combined. Okay, that means the material realm and the realm of the spirit and the heart are combined. This causes the offering to be really powerful, and that is done by the priest. Now, let me explain this. And many people will say, "But we are all priests." Yes, but then you should give yourself if you're all priests. Yeah, and we should. Okay, but if you're going to give into a church, into a revival, into a reformation, if you're going to give someone and say, "I honor it," and like you say, what you call in the mystical mode is called trading. Yeah. What is it, and why is someone taking it? Is what we need to look at. Okay, so Malachi explains this, and I'm going to explain it yesterday when I was given it to me. I asked him a question. So what is this? And where is it from? Is this a seed? Is it a one-time gift? Is it a percentage? And that's what people call a tithe. Is it a percentage of something? Is it something that comes out of your monthly giving? What is it? And so I think that's a very good question, because then you are able to find out, because now this person I know personally, but if you have a church and if someone gives it to you, you are able to understand where this person's commitment to the Reformation or the revival is.
Yeah.
This is very, very important, Rose, because we are part of a reform move. As you know, WOWLife Church is a global move. It's a local move. It's a global move. And we have to treat pastors, teachers, facilitators, leaders in the same honor that Paul says, don't I have the right to, if I'm showing spiritual things to you, Paul is writing, don't I have the right to take material things from you? And see, this question is asked because he's challenging them. He says, look, if you think that what you're getting spiritually is life transforming, isn't it your duty, isn't it fair that you then give off what you are enjoying from the teachings and all that? Obviously, life is blessed because of it. And isn't it fair that the man of God or God, because what he does with it, actually the buck stops there when you give it, okay? Out of his life, you will see what he does with it. But when he takes it into his hand, you're giving it to actually God. And he says, isn't it fair that you now give God? So this concept, it's not a tithe or a percentage. It's what is fair. Now, if you like someone's revelation and you want to go and trade, and you think, wow, that's really cool. I'm going to trade into that revelation. Absolutely cool. But if you look at a pastor's heart or someone who's running a reformation, or just let's forget all that. Let's go back to a CEO of a company. Okay, he needs to know how much he's going to get every month, because he's got a budget to have. He's got a hall to rent. He's got the sound system to buy. He's got so many places. And we have 600 churches. We got orphanages. We got drug rehab centers. We have so many things that we're doing. At the moment, we're building a couple of churches. We did a toilet project for most of the churches. We just finished a toilet project that was giving toilets to most of these churches, because we know if someone comes to church, you need a good toilet, right? So, and that's how that pulls the crowd. And in these parts of the world, they don't have it. And so we just did a large toilet project that we just finished off, fixing washrooms to everything for these local churches. Now, stuff like that, we need to budget for. Now, if someone comes and gives me a one-time gift and he likes my revelation, okay, and if he gives me a one-time gift, I can take it and say, okay, I can say, what is this? Oh, this is because of your revelation. Thank you. But if someone comes and tells me, I'm giving this to you because I know that you need to run a reformation, and this is my commitment. This is a sustainable thing. And I'm going to make sure you have this every month. Now, that's a completely different thing, because time is money, you see? And that puts me at ease, because I'm like, oh, I don't have to think about that. Okay. That's that's 10 minutes of prayer that I can put towards someone's healing. That's 10 minutes of prayer I can put towards getting something else done, right? Okay, then 10 minutes of prayer saying, Lord, you know what? I need to make sure that this project finishes and that these pastors have, at this area, have enough money in this season, you see? So you see the quality of the gift is very different than a trading gift. Right. Okay, so how are we partnering with God in this season according to where God is taking you? And that's more the question. It's not about the tithe. And, you know, the tithe has come with such a control of curses and stuff like that, and penalties. But in grace, there is no penalty. Jesus Christ died, and you're right. Absolutely. That doctrine is absolutely true. There's no curse. He died. You identify with him. And guess what? You know what? He has given you everything through that one-time seed and one-time offering. But now, as a Christian, we respond to that.
Yeah, that's so good.
By our material debt, by our giving of ourselves and our service. And that's our response to what we know doctrinally. Now we plug the earth realm into the spiritual realm. And that's where everything starts happening. That's where there's an explosion and a shift and a change. But there is no penalty. There is no, oh, if you don't give, you're going to be cursed. But there is, hey, if you respond to what Christ did, guess what? There is a blessing. And that goes without saying.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that is so good. And it answers a lot of questions that are out there today, because, truth be told, Kirby, there's been a lot of people that no longer go to a building per se for their church, or, because we meet online, but you know what, there's still expenses that need to be met. And, like you talked about, the Reformation and the movement, there's still things. So where am I supposed to tithe to?
Yeah. So again, it comes down to fairness. And where do we get this fairness concept from? We get the fairness concept of, or where do we get the tithe from? Tithe just means percentage. We get it from Abraham, and he's giving off a percentage that he's plundered his enemies, and he's done an exploit, and he decides to give 10%. Now, this is, God didn't ask for it. He wasn't commanded to do it. It was Abraham who gives, according to his conscience, a percentage. Now, personally, Rose, I thought that was very, very measly and meager when I first read that. I was like, really? You killed like how many kings, and you had so much plan and you only gave 10%? Come on, but then you tend to forget that Abraham's the same guy who gave his only begotten son, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that balances out. That's my dog. Don't worry about it. So that kind of balances out, right? We've not done that.
Yes. Right.
So he was more than generous. But in saying that, so it's Abraham who decided what was fair. And if you notice that as he gave God, he gave what was fair to the people around him who had worked with him to get that job done. So this is a Jewish concept and a Jewish God, and you know about this kind of stuff, okay? Because this is a Jewish God, and he saw that this man would treat everyone righteously. Righteousness means fairness. Now, Paul, in 1 Corinthians 8 and 9, look how many times he uses the word fairness when he talks about giving. He says just about fairness. And so, how is it? Are you growing in God and through what is coming? And wherever you are growing in God, it's only fair that you give of what you are getting. And it's a percentage. So what is fair is a percentage. So Paul talks about it like he said, everyone should give equally. It means not everyone can give $1,000 or $1,000. That's why the widow's mite was a percentage that seemed fair to God. And it's not about a 10%, but you give where you're growing from. And you give it fairly.
Yeah, so beautiful. That's so beautiful the way that you said that, and it's true. So with Mysterion coming and you doing more teaching there, let me just ask you this one last question, then I know you got to run. And thank you so much for your time that you've given me and us today. But so what is do you see a thing in the Western world, in our culture over here in the US, what is something that you see that you think, they need a little bit more teaching in this area so that we can get greater revelation in our way of thinking when it comes to money? Okay.
That's really a good question, Rose. And this is why Mysterion will be really great. One is that the Western world is under the banking system, the spirit of mammon, okay? And because they've been trained by the banking system, so the spirit of mammon trains you. And because of that, we are trained to give in certain ways. And we are programmed, we are under the law of giving, you see? And because of that, because of the system and how it trains you, it really hinders our generosity and hinders, Rose, I don't teach tithing. I don't preach tithing. I don't tell our people to tithe, but I tithe. I've never stopped tithing, like that. Like how would I? Well, God has blessed me so much, and in my little or in my lot, He's blessed me, and in my little I tithe, and in my lot I tithe, and it's because I just think that's just fair. That's it, And so if you were my partner, okay, Rose, I think you're still there, right? Yeah. So if you were my partner, say we were working together on something, and whatever it is, you're my partner, and I'll make sure that I treat you fairly. And it's just a signal to God, you're my partner in whatever I do. I'll make sure that no matter what, you will come first, okay? And there'll be justice. So seek ye first the kingdom of God, and righteousness means the fairness. What righteousness means, the fairness in that, and that's what Abraham did there. And that's all. And so I don't like going on I think, and also the Western world has been they've been coerced into giving. So they're like, or they've been sort of, okay, buy this and then, or buy that and you get this, and this kind of corporate church mentality. In Sri Lanka, we truly, in the Eastern church here, people come to service, we don't even tell them really to give or anything like that, but they really come in. And I think the word partnership also has been like downgraded in the Western world. So I don't even like to use the word, because it's much more than your money. I recently called my leaders up and I told them, I said, look, I'm building this thing. I need so much money to build this. And I literally told them, I said, look, guys, how's your marriages? Are your marriages good? Oh, yeah, your marriage is good. Yeah, good. How's your finances? Yeah, good. I said, how was COVID? Did anyone lose jobs? And how are your businesses? How many of you grew during COVID? So all their hands are going up, because truly the revelation that we have would cause you to prosper. And it's the word, really. And I said, good. I said, now we're not seeing, because we've not seen each other for ages. So I had 63 leaders there at that point, 63 coach groups. And I said, look, I'm building this, guys. So make sure that I have the money before I start. And that's where the money start coming in, And so it's just, this is my home. This is where I get my food from. This is where I get my revelation from. And it's only fair that I support what is going on. I'm coming in as a partner. I'm going to make sure that my presence is felt in this area as well. As much as my voice is felt, much as my personality is felt, this area is going to be felt, And it's just fairness. We are working with partnership. We're working with God as a partner in our businesses. And I just want to make sure that he knows that he can trust me. Okay. And it's not about percentages. It's just, I'm sold out. I'm dedicated to him. And I wish I could give my life for him. I got a doctrine of immortality, but that's why I preach the gospel in Sri Lanka. I'm not scared to preach what I preach. I preach it fearlessly. The best thing I can give him now in these days is my rejection. I've given it all my life. I try. I love the reproach. I love the rejection. It's my, you offer up your suffering, right? And so I don't want to give my son. I don't have a son to give it, and I won't, because he gave his only begotten son. I love my wife. It's too much to ask for. I don't know what I'll do without her. So I say, God, protect my wife, and my family. But I'll give myself at any point of time, and my money comes with it. I'll die for him anytime. I'll lay my life down. I'll get scandalized, reproached, whatever it is. And so money for me is just nothing. It's like the smallest part of what I can give God personally, what I have to call surely my own. And so I give my life. And so I told my leaders, I said, guys, I'm not asking for your money. Your money is the least of thing I'm asking for. I'm asking for your lives. And of course, that comes with a tremendous commitment that will come sustainable monthly. Make sure that I have no headaches, that I don't have to think about or spend time praying for money when you guys have the money. Just make sure if you saved it up, just make sure you give it, because we are doing something that can really, I believe personally, Rose, and can change the world. I personally believe it. We first need to change the church, and I believe the church is ready for what we are carrying. God has shown me visions about the future, of what's going to happen, where he's going to take us. We're just a small part of his great plan, but I'm so privileged to be that small part of it. And so we invite people to come fully. Don't come halfway, man. Jump in. Give me your life. And because it's a sweet smelling sacrifice after the Lord Jesus. So that's all I can say.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. And when you were talking about the partnership, it was reminding me of the fishermen in the boat, and each person's grabbing a part of the net, because they have a big catch to pull up, right? And so we need everybody to grab the net and do their part. And so, you know what? I love it. I love it. That's just so amazing. So I'm sure that we're going to hear more at Mysterion. And so, and that's, again, for those of you guys that are excited about this, as I am, it's coming up the third week in January. But you know what? We'll post the links below. You can find out the information there, and you're going to want to hop on to this. Kirby, thank you again. I so appreciate your time. And you know what? I so appreciate you and Fiona, your beautiful wife, Fiona, and all that you guys do for the kingdom. I mean, there's been so much, wait, what did I say one time? Disruptive. I want to say disruptive theology.
Yeah, theology. Yeah, theology is a beautiful word that people don't use, but it can be looked at in the wrong way. So, Rose, thank you very much for what you do and what Linda and you do, and we're truly blessed by your support and everything you are to us.
Okay.
Love you guys.
Love you. Thank you. Thank you.